for basically 2 years now. We've had days where there's been a lot of news breaking.
It's breaking by the minute.
But today, the rapid fire of the breaking news is nuts. You got, the James Harden situation that we talked about, him, trying to let the Nets spend, let the Sixers spend more money around him to help him decline in that $47 million option. Then you literally have USC and UCLA setting the college football and sports world on fire by announcing, and they're going to the Big Ten. We'll get to that. Then Kevin Durant requested a trade from the Nets this morning after Kyrie just opted in. Trying to prepare for the show today was like trying to catch the golden snitch. I mean, you just hope you're around the right place and you just reach out and grab
Will
it.
Ferrell in the locker room of Old School today with the chair, just screaming, hitting it, and everybody stay calm.
Everybody had to keep their composure.
Everybody keep your composure.
Everybody in the Booster Club, please keep your composure. Calm down.
Every day in the fall is going to be.
I can't wait.
Every day is.
That's what I'm saying. Like, again, into real launch. It's an Elon Musk launch in the fall. All right, USC and UCLA are potentially joining the Big Ten Conference. UAB head coach Bryant Vincent is going to join us. And James Harden opts out of his player option while Kevin Durant requests a trade. I'm Jake Crane. It's Breaking News Thursday. It's Crane & Company. Was once again turned upside down today after John Wilner broke the news that USC and UCLA are strong candidates to join the Big Ten by 2024. This sends yet another strong signal that we're heading towards super conferences. I believe this was inevitable. I think most of y'all do too. With the way things have been going, I don't believe that super conferences is this monster everyone else thinks it is, or most people think it is. So let's play a game called Everybody Be Honest. There are maybe 3 to 4 teams that can actually win a national championship each season. Maybe 3 to 4. So cutting down the field does make a little sense. But I believe you're going to see 4 16-team mega conferences. You're going to see the Big 12 and Pac-12 combine to make a conference baby. And the playoffs will be expanded to at least 12. Now, there are going to be some teams that are Power 5 right now that get left out. This is going to give us some new matchups that we haven't seen. And it's going to create some rivalries we didn't think could even exist. But make no mistake, the old school way of college football is officially dead. Go ahead and bury it. And while we may not recognize the sport that we all fell in love with for the most part, that doesn't mean it's necessarily a bad thing. If your wife gets a boob job, that's a big change, but it's a good one. Not all change is bad, you see. And in the scope of trying to crown the top team, to me, this does nothing but help tighten up the process. Look, David, I'm going to bring David and Blaine in here. We're going to get to the Booster Club. We got Coach Bryant Vincent, new UAB head coach, joining us here in a couple minutes. But what an absolutely insane day. To me, this is what you're going to see. 4 16-team conferences, as I mentioned. You're going to get a merger from the Big 12, Pac-12. There's going to be some teams that are left at the door. You're going to have a 12-team playoff. I think you're going to hear some of the names of the conferences stay the same. The SEC is already at 16. You got Texas and Oklahoma. And I know people out there are going to say, you are nuts for not thinking they're going to add teams. To be honest with you, anything can happen. But I do think it's going to stop at 16, at least early. It gets expanded to 12. So if you look at it, you get 6 on one side, which means how many from each? You don't have to be a mathematician to do that. That's 3. What worries me a little bit about this is the travel. Like I'm having a hard time understanding how USC and UCLA to the Big Ten. I know Nebraska's right there in the middle, but to get to 16 teams, you still have to add teams, and it may be a little bit of foreshadowing cone that they may be building a bridge from California out there to the Big Ten, and I don't know who they're going to add, but there's some teams that I think are pretty capable.
Well, we thought it was awkward when West Virginia joined the Big 12, right?
I know, right?
This blows that out of the water geographically.
Not even close.
Remember 1 year ago, guys, we were at SEC Media Days, and the news broke that Texas and Oklahoma would be joining the SEC, and that was historic. I think a lot of wheels were in motion at that time. There's no telling how far back this goes to get 2 schools like this to join. And I remember a conversation, I've been thinking thinking about this a lot ever since we were at SEC Media Days last year. I remember a conversation I had with Coach Lloyd Carr after I had already graduated from Michigan. We sat down for breakfast one morning, and he said, this was 2011, this is over a decade ago. He said, the future of college football is going to be mega conferences, right? That's the phrase he used. Now, that's a decade ago, and you still have SEC, Big Ten, Pac-12, you know, things, Pac-10, things look similar to the way they did 10 years ago, but this is where we're going. So I don't know if we're going to see four mega conferences of 16 each, or 2 with 20 to 25 to maybe 30 each. I don't know. I mean, you made a good point where you said not more than 10 to 12 to 15 teams can actually win a national football championship. But there's so much more to consider here than just football. Think about what UCLA may bring for basketball. I mean, there's a lot at play here.
That's true. And I look at it through the football prism, obviously, because most of us look at it through the football prism. And we still have a situation now where some teams are in different conferences in basketball than they are in football. We still have that. But to all the people out there, and you're going to have a bunch of people out there that are just going to hit the roof. They are going to panic. This is going to absolutely ruin college football. Sometimes, just because things change doesn't make it worse. Because if it always stays the same, to me, you can never get better. You'll never at least know. The people that fear, I am more scared about NIL than I am about mega conferences.
I agree with that.
I'm way more worried about that ruining college football than mega conferences. Because again, right now, the way it's going, the way it's set up, there's 3 teams. Again, maybe 4 that can win it. Now, I don't know how much expanding the conferences to mega conferences. To me, I think if you have 4 quality conferences, you're going to create competition in each conference, because they're not going to take a school in there, in my opinion, that's not able to succeed. So then you ask yourself, where does Vandy go in the SEC? What happens there? Does the SEC go try and replace them? I'd kick their ass out right now.
But
I'm sorry.
They add a lot of value other than just football, though.
In what?
A lot of schools are like that. I mean, they're top 2 in golf every single year.
That's not bringing any money.
They're
not bringing. I'm talking about sports that bring money. They don't care about golf. They don't care about baseball. They care about basketball because it brings money. Again, Vandy is robbing the SEC. They're the smartest people in the league, and you know what? It's working. They get more money for putting on horrible performances in the sport that brings home the most bacon. So if I'm the SEC, Vandy, let me tell you a story about the time we kicked you out.
Yeah, no, I mean, look, you're not entirely wrong when it comes to Vanderbilt. Each school brings something different, and these are still academic institutions and all that. Are they, though?
Are they?
They're academic institutions. This is what I'm saying. XFL needs to take over and be full minor league for the NFL, and let's just have that.
Look, it's in college football. Yeah. Academics comes first. Coach.
Yeah, that's what they said. You're a student first, and you're an athlete second.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
If you're listening on audio, make sure you go watch this.
Yeah, right? We're doing it in reverse order.
Okay, so what else was I going to say there on that front? Well, a few things. I have to read off a couple. The Twitter's undefeated.
It's undefeated.
Always. I have to read a couple.
It's absolutely undefeated.
Nothing says classic Big Ten football like that Rutgers-UCLA matchup. Someone said, yeah, but volleyball will be lit.
Yeah, it's going to be.
All right, here's another. I'm surprised the Big Ten didn't go after the Detroit Lions.
Look, I bet the Lions would have finished 4th.
Here's a good one, because we were talking about this a lot over the last year. What about the Alliance? They looked each other in the eyes and they shook hands. Remember the Alliance?
Yes. The promise ring. The promise ring.
And this one, at what point does the conference get a name change?
Okay, I think what you're going to... That, to me, is the most interesting part of this whole deal. So you're going to have SEC. I think if you have the Big 12 and the Pac-12 combined, I think they'll call that Fox.
Yeah.
And then I think...
FOX.
I think one of the other conferences, they're going to call that one ESPN. And whichever one Notre Dame decides to join, you know what they're going to call that one? NBC.
Okay.
That's what you're going to get.
That's what it comes down to,
fellas.
Right? I mean, are we wrong on that?
No, ESPN, Fox, NBC, and SEC.
It's the TV networks control all this now.
What about the other teams left in the Pac-12?
Yeah, it's a good question.
Like Oregon. Oregon needs to get out right now. Needs to get out right now.
It's a great question, because if you look at the Pac-12 right now, they're going to have to find 2 teams. And if I'm San Diego State, I'm sitting over saying, y'all losing USC? Y'all need SoCal, baby. Y'all need it.
Does the SEC, they're at 16 with Texas and Oklahoma,
no,
correct?
I don't think the SEC adds more.
You don't think if they could go get a Clemson, if they could get a
I'm not saying they couldn't go get it.
They could drop.
Again, we're playing hypotheticals, because does anybody know what's going to happen?
No.
Really not. But I think there's the best chance of the 4-16 team situation.
Okay.
So what I'm saying is, when you're the SEC, if you were going to go more than 16, to me, I get in the car, I go call Clemson, I go call Florida State, I go call Miami, and I call Notre Dame.
If you're who? If you're which?
If I'm the SEC.
Oh, okay.
If I was going to add more than 16, but now the 16 the SEC has, I think is perfect. But if you were going to add more, I'm calling Clemson, I'm calling Florida State, I'm calling Miami, and I'm calling Notre Dame. I'm not calling North Carolina because guess who has to come with North Carolina? Duke. And I don't want them over here either. They're Vanderbilt in disguise, and they're better at basketball.
Really? With all they bring for basketball?
No, for basketball. Yeah. I said outside of basketball, they're Vanderbilt in disguise. So when I look at that in Notre Dame, people say, wait, what do you mean? If I'm Notre Dame, you just had your winningest coach in history leave to go to the SEC.
Yeah.
You want to know what a great clapback is that? All right, BK, you know what? Open up the door. We're coming into town. Let's see how it goes down.
The SEC?
Look, the SEC. What a great
Join the Big Ten. Notre Dame, why are you putting this off longer than it has to be?
Just because,
look, to play Michigan.
Notre Dame's the girl in the bar that thinks she's a 9, but she's really a 6. Sometimes she's a 7 when she literally dips her face in a bowl full of makeup to convince everybody. But that's who they are right now. And once they join a conference, you know what? It's like Coach Rick Weiss said on Division III, and you'll be better men for it.
Last point here. If there are 5 Power 5 conferences, and if we're thinking that 4 of 16 each or some number like that is where we're headed for college athletics, do you think that these conferences are just saying, okay, we don't have to be the number 1 conference in athletics. We just have to be in the top 4. We just have to not be last. So when you look at the Big 12 and you look at the Pac-10, you look at the ACC especially, are those all thinking like, okay, who's the weakest link? Like, how can we just not be the weakest link until one of them caves completely? We're in the top 4.
You know what you do? You do what they did in The Dark Knight when the Joker snuck his way into the thing. You remember he pretended he was dead, and then they opened up the thing and took over the guards, and the last 2 that were alive, he got that stick and broke it in half, and he said, you know what we're going to have? Tryouts.
Well, think about if you're a team
Tryouts.
You think about if you're a team not in any of those conferences. You're screwed.
Well, you were screwed to start with.
Screwed.
You're screwed. Okay.
Coastal, screwed.
Okay, Coastal's not winning it.
Boise State.
You know what? To me, I think it's better because they need to form their own championship to me. Okay. If they're going to go to super conferences, and who knows, Blaine? Somebody could swallow up Coastal. You never know. But at the end of the day, none of those teams are winning the national championship. Cincinnati's the best group of 5 team we've seen. I don't care, UCF. Look at my face. I don't care. Cincinnati would have beat y'all. So, to me, if that team can't stop Alabama when Alabama's running plays from the 3rd day of fall camp the whole game, then I just don't believe they'll ever be able to do it. So if you're a group of 5, you need to have your own championship. I really think you do because you're not winning it. You're from Statesboro. Georgia Southern's not winning the national championship in college football right now.
And they used to in 1AA.
That's exactly right.
Thing.
I'm from South Alabama. Let me tell you a hint. Love Kane Womack. South in your mouth. I'm all about it. They're not winning it. Blaine went to Western Colorado. Here's a story about a team that's not going to win it either. So again,
not wrong.
It's realistic. It's legitimately realistic. Because if I'm watching a race, let's really think about it. If I go to the track and I want to watch a race, and there's 30 people in the race, and 15 of them are just slow and average, I don't want to watch that. I'd rather watch 10 people that are really fast race against each other.
So what happens when basketball season comes around?
See, that's a totally different animal. To me, it all goes into one pot, obviously, because you're going to the conference. But different teams are stronger in basketball than some are in football. So there's way too much going on right now with the basketball argument and the football argument because they bring different things to the table. But right now, just looking at it from a pure football standpoint, because that's why it's going, it's a pure football standpoint because that's the most money that gets brought in.
And again, markets. Markets are like
massive.
Rutgers got added to the Big Ten. You get the New Jersey market. Exactly. I mean, we're talking about Houston, Orlando,
Missouri to the SEC. You get St. Louis.
Okay, yeah, exactly. And so when you see what the Big 12 has added, when they add Houston and when they add Cincinnati, I mean, you have to be market focused as well because again, it's about the TV network.
Yeah. Well, I tell you what, somebody else's focus is a brand new UAB head coach, Bryant Vincent. We're going to bring him on. Good friend of ours. Was very fortunate enough to coach with him. Coach Bill Clark obviously had some back issues that he's getting dealt with. Really hope he's able to recover. We all know, I mean, you don't realize how important your back is till it gets hurt, but we're excited to talk to him. But Cone, to your point, you will have some schools that realize that in football, when we make this move, it may actually up our football program over our basketball program if our basketball program is overtaking our football program right now. I think you could legitimately see that. What I'm really interested to see is the TV rights and the way that this thing works out. That's what I'm interested to see. But we're about ready to get Coach Vincent in here.
Want to go to the chat until he gets in here?
Yes, let's go to the chat.
All
real
right,
quick.
this just broke. Samuel Vasquez Quintana says, breaking news according to ESPN, Kyrie Irving is likely to be on the market after Durant wants out.
What is happening in sports? Coach Vincent, can you hear us?
I can hear you.
What a crazy day of sports news. So now Kyrie's out?
Yep.
Man, do you think
They said everyone on the Nets, on the Nets.
Lakers, Kevin, Kyrie.
Isn't it funny? Hey,
Kevin, Kyrie go to the Lakers.
Isn't it unbelievably ironic that they're named the Nets, but they can never hold on to anyone?
They can't.
Yep, I'm going to write that down. Coach Bryant Vincent, new UAB head coach. Coach V, appreciate you joining us.
Anytime, man. Anytime for you guys.
For sure. Well, I want to.
My main man Blaine and my main man.
Yes, sir.
For sure.
What's up, Coach?
We go way back, man. We were at the Bluegill the other night down there at the Senior Bowl. I was thinking about you, man. Got some tuna dip down there.
Hey, had some really good times down there, man. The Bluegill is one of my favorite spots down there. It's hard to beat.
It is hard to beat. Well, you know, Coach, I wouldn't rather start this conversation off another way. Obviously, Bill Clark, heart goes out to him. Know it's a tough situation. Can you just for a second talk about Coach Clark and how he's, you know, obviously been a part of your life and a part of your career and kind of this next chapter?
Absolutely. You know, it kind of goes back to Coach Clark and I had the same path, you know, growing up in the state of Alabama and being high school coaches. You know, he was the head coach at Prattville High School, and then I was the head coach at Greenville. So it goes back in. And when Coach Clark became the head coach for the Alabama-Mississippi All-Star game, he hired me in that game. I was a scout coach. So then, obviously, as we know, where you and I and Blaine met, he went to South Alabama. He was the defensive coordinator at South Alabama when I was the head football coach at Spanish Fort. But he moved to Spanish Fort so his kids could go to Spanish Fort and Jacob could play for me, where also Blaine Crane showed up and played for me also.
State champions, Coach. State champs. State champs.
And Blaine had a heck of a career at Spanish Fort. So we go there 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. We win the state championship at Spanish Fort. And then I go to South Alabama to be the tight ends fullback coach my first year, then quarterback coach. So then obviously Bill goes to Jack State for 1 year. He goes to UAB in 14. He hires me. I'm his first OC quarterback coach. So program shuts down. Boom. Go back to South, and then I come back and I'm coach's OC in 18, 19, 20, 21. So we've kind of started and cut our teeth in Alabama high school coaches growing up in the state through our career, and then we finish it here together, you know, in college. So obviously he's been a mentor to me. He's been, you know, a good friend to me. He's taken care of me. We've worked hand in hand together. We've been able to accomplish a lot of really cool things at UAB, from being 6-6 and 14 when, you know, that might have been the most wins they've had 3 or 4 years in a row, to winning the first championship ever in 18, the West and Conference USA, to 19 winning the West, 20 winning the West, winning the Conference USA championship. So we won the West 3 years in a row. First time that ever been done in school history. We won the only 2 bowl games in school history. So a lot, you know, the foundation he's laid here, it's solid, it's strong. We're thriving. We're in the premier city in the Southeast in Birmingham, Alabama. We've got great facilities. We got a brand new stadium, protective stadium, you know, that we opened up last year. So talking about Group of 5 and one winning national championship with a Group of 5, hey, I'm in on what y'all were talking about early.
Yeah. Let me ask you about that, Coach Vincent. I mean, obviously there's a lot of movement. Who the hell knows? Tomorrow you guys may be in the NFC East. Who knows? But when you look at it and look at the situation, just kind of what's your overall thoughts on the movement in college football as a guy that's kind of in the robot per se?
To be honest with you, in my opinion, I would like to have 2 separate divisions. I would like to have the power division, you know, with all the Power 5s, and I would love to have a Group of 5 division because you can have 2 national champions, in my opinion. And I think it would just be great for college football. And then it'd be great for the fans. It'd be great for the players. It'd be great just for the game.
Without a doubt, I'm with you. And again, obviously you were here at the top of the show and heard us talk about that. My last question, I'm going to throw it over here to David Cohn is, you know, Coach, I've known you a long time. You know me. I know what's in your heart. You know what's in mine. I know what you've gone through to get where you've gotten. You know, a lot of people out there today in society give up before they even give themselves a chance. Can you talk about what perseverance is, overcoming adversity at times when sometimes, you know, you want to lay down and just go off what you've done instead of what you could do? Because I think you're an unbelievably shining example of somebody that knows what he's doing, knows how to grind, and knows how to win, getting his shot, and now you're getting it. Talk about that a little bit.
You know, It's funny you say that because perseverance is something I've talked about a lot the last couple of days to our players and coaches. You know, I came into this state, I cut my teeth in this state. So I started as a student assistant at the University of West Alabama under a guy named Bobby Johns. And I knew my junior year of high school that I was going to be a football coach really because of my mentor and my head coach, my coach, Sam Royce. So I knew it, and then I knew I wanted to be a college head coach at a young age. I wanted to affect men at the highest level I felt like that I wanted to coach at. So started as a student assistant. Then, hey, you start the journey, and I broke into Alabama at Charles Henderson High School, really as the quarterback coach. Boom, offensive coordinator 3 years. I knew I had a plan, man, and you can ask the kids back in Spanish Fort. I used to run like a little leadership class, and I would tell them, you got to have a 5-year plan. And I wanted to be a head high school coach first and prove myself as a head coach. So Charles Henderson, OC, 3 years. Boom, go to Spain Park. 3 years, OC, quarterback coach. We turned that program around. Bam, I get my first head coaching job after turned down for really 3 or 4 jobs in the state of Alabama as head coaches. I finally got my first shot at Greenville High School that Larry Blakeney, who was a mentor of mine also from Troy. and I got my first shot. Greenville's 1-9. Bam, we go 10-3 first year, 5A coach of the year. Spanish Fort calls. They're 0-17. It's another chance to prove that I can build a program and lead a community. 4-6, 11-2, 11-3 semifinals, 13-2, winning its first state championship, 2010. Yeah. Now I get my first opportunity with Joey Jones over there at South Alabama. Bam, I crack in. Let's go. Tight end fullback coach. I told myself in 5 years I'm going to be an offensive coordinator. That was my goal. 5 years of college, set the tone. Let's go. 3 years there. Coach Clark gets the UAB job. He offers me the offensive coordinator. Bam, 5 years. 5 years later, my goal is to be a college head coach. Well, didn't happen really as fast or as quick as I wanted it to be. We had a great year. Number 1 offense in school history in 2014. We averaged 34 points a game. Bam, we go 6-6. You know, we get it started. Shuts down. All right, I was fortunate enough to get the opportunity to go back to South as offense coordinator, and yeah, we led them to a bowl game. And that was a big deal starting that program. We helped them to another bowl game. And things don't work out. I come back up here in 18. Coach Clark is offense coordinator, win the conference championship. Bam. Next year, we win the West, playing a conference championship, get beat by FAU that year. Coach names me assistant head coach. That was a big deal to me. Then 20, we win the conference, win the West, win the conference championship again, go up and beat Marshall. Then last year, we lose to UTSA. Last couple seconds of the game, they win the conference. That's okay. We finish it up. We beat the first time ranked team, a top 12 team ranked in BYU in the bowl game. Bam. Now I'm sitting here today in front of you guys as the interim head coach at UAB. It's perseverance, man. It's being the same guy every day. It's caring about kids. It's loving kids. It's creating relationships, mentoring kids, and just motivating kids to do it all the same way, same standard. And we've got a foundation here. We've got a standard here that's already set. And I can't tell you how excited I am to get these kids to buy into one thing, and that's playing for each other in this town.
Well, I know you're going to do it. I 100% know you're going to do it because I know who you are, and you're about to burst on this thing like nobody understands. But go ahead, David.
Coach, you and I do not go way back like these guys, but I am a big fan of the bluegill as well. So I feel like we can be best friends after this interview is over. Sure. Like Jake said, I'm from Statesboro, Georgia. I've seen what the Georgia Southern University means to that community, especially Georgia Southern football. I watched Irk Russell win a lot of Division I AA national championships. Now they're in the Sun Belt Conference, and I think of communities like Statesboro and where Appalachian State is, where your program with UAB. You know, if we do get to a situation, like you said, where we have a Power 5 conference, and then we have a Power 5 championship and a Group of 5 championship. How should that play out when it comes to conferences? I mean, we see the big move today with USC and UCLA possibly joining the Big Ten. Are we going to move to 4 conferences in Power 5 and Group of 5? Should it be 2 mega conferences and have all these schools? Where do you think we're headed?
You know what? That's a great question. I think it could go a variety of ways. To me, if we're just talking Group of 5 right now, I would love to have about 5 conferences. If we could still keep about 5 conferences, because I believe this, it is hard to win a conference championship. You have to keep your team together. You have to have great culture. You have to have great chemistry. You have to have kids, because we've won 3 West championships and 2 conference championships, and there was always darkness sometime in that season, a loss. And I believe it has to stand for something when you can hold a team together and teach them the things in life aren't going to be easy and you're going to have ups and downs, and you find a way to qualify and play in that conference championship game, and then to go win it in the biggest moment at the end of the season should count for something, and you should get in the playoffs with winning the conference championship. Now, you go out and you get maybe 3 at-large bids by a guy that maybe a team that's very deserving, or they had an injury or 2 or whatever happened. I would love to see an 8-team playoff championship tournament in a group of 5.
Yeah, we're together in the 8 team. I'm guessing Power 5 is probably going to go to 12 when this happens, unfortunately. But I'm with Coach. I want 8.
Coach, first of all, congratulations, and second of all, thank you. I mean, your guidance and your lessons that you taught me, I wouldn't be sitting where I am today. I want to get a question about this offense. You being the quarterback guru yourself, and that's exactly what you are. Experience is huge in football. You bring back experience at a certain position. That's a quarterback position. That's Dylan Hopkins. How big is that for you, not only for this offense, but for this team?
I think it's huge. Dylan's it's be his 4th year being here at UAB. Counting the COVID year, Dylan has grown and matured. Coming in and starting last year from Tulane on, and as the season went, you just saw it all slow down for him. And you can get a lot of things and get by with a lot of things at the quarterback position, but one thing that you can't buy is experience.
Hell yeah.
Experience matters, and it's valuable. And for Dylan to have those 9 games and to go beat BYU at the end and play the way he did, I think he was 18 of 23. It was 12 for 12 at halftime. And to have the confidence after that game going into this season is huge, and it's priceless. And then to bring in a guy named Jacob Zeno from Baylor he played as a freshman in the Big 12 championship game, because competition brings out the best in everybody. So when you got a guy like him behind pushing him, and Bryson Lucero, who's also started 5 games and has a 3-2 record as a starter here, it's the best the quarterback room's ever been.
Yeah.
So I'm excited about it. It gives me some ease a little bit, because when you got a guy that's been there and won and played in the big games and won the big games, it's critical.
Being a coach's son myself, I just wanted to ask, I keep up with Brady, and how awesome is it to see him following in your footsteps, the pass game coordinator and the quarterback coach at the Spanish Fort High School? How awesome is it to see that, and how proud of you are him?
I'm very proud of Brady. He's a great kid. He works extremely hard. I've tried to make it where he has to earn everything he gets, like I did. Nobody gave me anything. I had to come in here and start from the bottom and work my way to the top, and we kind of made him do that throughout the process at South Alabama and UAB. I'm extremely proud of him, and I think he's doing it for the right reasons. That's what I see. It's about relationships. It's about kids. It's about caring outside of football and mentoring kids and helping kids, and I'm extremely proud of him. I think he's going to do a great job, and I couldn't even be more proud of him that he's at Spanish Fort, a program that we kind of built and set the foundation at. But it's kind of like sitting there looking at you, Blaine, and looking at you, Jake. You know that I'm extremely proud of you guys, and I love both of you guys. I think I've proven myself throughout the years. I'd do anything to help you guys, as a man and just as a mentor. And I love your family. And seeing you guys and the success you guys have got right here and where this thing is going, Crane & Company, is really cool for me to watch too.
Well, I mean, who'd have thought we'd be sitting right here doing what we're doing right now? But again, I'm not surprised, Coach. I appreciate that. I love you guys, love everybody, Brady, the whole bunch over there, and we just appreciate you coming on. And again, going to get you on soon. Congratulations, Coach. New head coach at UAB, Bryant Vincent. Coach, can't wait to get you back on, man.
You got it, guys. Appreciate you, man. Hey, check us out and go Blazers.
Love you, Coach.
See ya. All right.
See y'all.
See ya. Number 1, that was a lot of fun.
That was awesome.
He's a cool cat.
Man, that was
cool
awesome.
cat. You can see why they recruit so well. If you want to watch, or we're going to play that, still have the audio here, but if you want to watch the rest of this episode, head over to thedailywire.com, become a member. Listen on Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. Subscribe, leave a 5-star review, and share it with your friends. And by the way, we have a Saturday special that I think you're really going to enjoy. We got a preview coming up of that right after the break. All right, everybody. Very excited to have Coach Vincent in. Obviously, you guys, that was an interview. We obviously know each other. Really enjoyed that one. But, Cone, there's so much breaking news. What happened now? Did the NBA decide to start shooting soccer balls or something?
Kevin Durant made the trade request directly to the Nets owner today.
Gone. This is amazing.
To the owner.
You know what? I don't like to be the guy to sit here and say, I said it. But I'm going to be the guy.
What'd you say?
The Nets have always been a disaster. It's been a disaster. When you got Ben Simmons over there, it was a disaster. They've had no stability. How much of a disaster is it, David Williford Cone, that you have Kyrie opt back in?
Yep.
A guy that's supposed to help you keep Kevin Durant, and then Kevin Durant calls you and says, "Hey, listen, I'm not in love anymore. Like you're not as good looking as you used to be. Blase, blase, blase." So,
I mean, we'll see what bandwagon Kevin Durant decides on.
At this point,
we'll see what bandwagon.
Well, yeah, I mean,
I wouldn't be surprised. I really wouldn't be surprised. The Warriors, I don't think the Warriors will take him. I don't see him playing with LeBron James. The more I think about it, the more we'll probably see him at the Suns.
Why do I have a weird feeling?
Yeah, well, DeAndre Ayton right now is in trades with the Nets.
Could the New York Knicks have somehow figured something out? Could the New York Knicks...
You still think the Knicks are up to something?
I just feel like they're up to something, but I don't trust them because they've given me no reason to trust them.
What about, let's say, I mean, we could play this game, and what about Miami?
I think Miami,
Butler,
they need a...
Or even what if he follows James Harden to the 76ers at this point?
See,
that place would fall apart so quick.
In the comments below, tell us where the best for Kevin Durant is in the Booster Club as well. Blaine, what's going on with the Booster Club real quick? What do they say?
Christopher Mowry says KD and Kyrie to the Spurs.
To the Spurs.
They're going together.
Okay,
huh?
we have a lot to catch up here.
Okay.
So hold on, one more thing from Wojnarowski here. Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving had no contact with the franchise after Irving opted into his deal on Monday, and a sense of inevitability existed that Durant would eventually ask for a trade. It happened today. So again, I asked a question yesterday when we were talking about Kyrie Irving. What happens in the middle of the season when there's friction between the two, more drama gets created? What's going to happen with KD then? It didn't even take that long. It didn't take 24 hours, apparently.
It's so toxic. The Nets are so toxic. They are Jody Arias toxic. Like, it's unbelievable how toxic they are. Kyrie, I'm starting to look at Kyrie and KD, and I'm really starting to look at KD in a much different light than I used to look at KD. I think Kevin Durant is a problem in the locker room. Like, I'm starting to really think Kevin Durant is a problem.
Yeah,
like, he's a legitimate problem.
Took you this long to figure it out?
Well, no, again, because there's levels to the problem makers. I mean, you have guys that are really just out there and unbelievably flamboyant with it. But Kevin Durant's kind of reserved a little bit. But now when you go back and look at his social media and the way that he acts, I mean,
I'm a snake.
Yeah, he's got
been
some
a
snake in him.
I mean, when you can't get along with an upstanding guy like Draymond Green, you have problems.
Oh, for sure, exactly.
For sure.
But it's again, it goes to show you the NBA is just the most wild pro sport there is when it comes to this. I mean, you got Bradley Beal declined his option, but he's probably going back to the Wizards. They added Will Barton, added some around him. But KD, to me, I'm just starting to look at it, and like Blaine said, is starting to think. You know, like when you're at the table and they say that if you're the dumb one at the table and like you don't know who the dumb one is, then you're probably the dumb one. I feel like KD is the type person that he goes around, he's like, what's the problem in all these locker rooms? Like, I'm so unlucky that I keep going to teams that it keeps getting messed up and it's toxic, so I got to leave. Well, it turns out, Kevin, that you're the common denominator. And I've never seen somebody with so much talent be such a problem at different places. Like, Kevin Durant he can't put ass to couch without there being a problem more than 5 minutes
it's like,
at a certain place.
In the breakup, it's not he has a problem, he's the problem.
That's exactly right.
But free agency means so much in the NBA because one player can swing a franchise.
That's exactly
so
right.
when you have that, egos get inflated. So we see these guys every free agent cycle, this kind of stuff plays out. But this one still is surprising because it seemed like KD and Kyrie were tied at the hip here. Okay, James Harden leaves, but now Kyrie can play games. He opts in, and then this comes out of nowhere.
It's just
I'm not surprised at this. The real question is, does KD and Kyrie follow each other where they end up going?
What do you think? They came together? What do you think?
I think so, yeah.
Kyrie opted in. He opted in already, right? I mean, can he?
No, Kyrie opted in, but I don't think it's official yet.
Yeah, I think he still has time.
The problem to me is if I'm a team, and I know you're going to say, Jake, it's Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving, but I feel like that's the trap. If I'm a team and I'm looking and I see just the war path that's left behind. If you looked at Kevin Durant's career and Kyrie's career, you know, you have your accolades, championships, but there is an absolute wake of carnage behind you.
Yeah.
If you look at the baggage these guys bring, I mean, you can work at the airport, dog. Like, it just blows my mind how this continues to happen with the same people. That's not a coincidence. Like you said, if you don't know what the problem is, sometimes turns out you're the problem. What's the boost?
All right, Joe C. said, would the SEC be crazy not to look at Oklahoma State? They're always a top 20 football team, great historically basketball program, and a top 10 baseball program.
Again, Oklahoma State's really good, a really good all-around program. You look at the money they have, the resources, T. Boone Pickens, again, who had passed away, but, I mean, they're still finding money this guy has. So I still think the SEC is going to stay at 16. But let's play a game called Let's Go Over, okay? That's 2 games.
Or you can take Vandy, Missouri out.
No, don't take Missouri out. You lose the St. Louis market. They're not going to do that. Why don't you just knock on the door, open it, kick me in the groin, and run away?
What are they good at?
Well, how good does a team have to be then? I mean, Vanderbilt, because you're talking about Vanderbilt, they bring a Nashville market.
Okay, but
better in baseball?
Hold on. When I'm looking at Missouri's made the SEC championship game twice. Okay? Again, with Gary Pinkel, they were good. Drinkowitz, I think it's going to take some time, but they can be good. Missouri can be good. I'm telling you, comparing Missouri and Vandy, it's a whole heck of a lot easier to get in Missouri than it is Vanderbilt.
They can be good even with Texas and Oklahoma coming in?
Oh, yeah. I think so. I mean, again, you're recruiting against them anyway, but if we're going to go over, I don't think the SEC would be crazy. You go grab rivalries, to me. You go grab Clemson. That's fine. You grab Miami and Florida State. Like I said.
That's interesting because you already have South Carolina.
Yes.
So that Clemson, and then you already have Florida, so you get Florida State. Yeah.
And then you have Florida State and Miami coming together, and then if you wanted to go poach another one, Oklahoma State would make sense, right?
Because you have Oklahoma.
Because you have Oklahoma. Yeah, that's exactly right. And Missouri and Arkansas. You know, there's some carryover when you look at these conferences. So when you look at it in aggregate and as a whole, the 16 team is a perfect number to me. It's an absolutely perfect number. Like the SEC right now, we're adding Texas and Oklahoma, right? We don't feel too full. You don't feel full. It's like eating good food as opposed to like a lot of bad food for you. After you eat a lot of bad food, you kind of feel tired, kind of feel groggy, you're ready to sleep. But man, you get some grilled chicken, some green beans. Heck, throw some mashed potatoes in there. I don't care. Sprinkle a little butter on them. It's Thursday. Maybe it's Friday. And then you feel good after you eat it. Right now, as an SEC fan, I'm looking at what we're eating. I feel good about it.
I feel good every time I eat. But
I don't know if the SEC will ever really feel full. It's the SEC. They always want more.
It just means more.
Well, like, I mean,
it means more, and they always want more.
You have 70 teams.
They want all 7.
At some point, you're the NCAA. You're not a conference anymore.
Yeah.
That's where it was going.
That's true. But do you want to pivot to some more rapid fire? Or do you want to pick the top group of 5?
Well, I'm trying to think here. Did we talk about you? I heard you mention Bradley Beal. Did we talk about James Harden in our NBA talk?
No, we did not.
Okay.
No, we did not.
Okay. Talk about James Harden because this is what's interesting. You're talking about KD and maybe even Kyrie could leave together to a place which, like at that point, why not just stay in Brooklyn?
I know, right?
And while I agree with you, they have left a wake of carnage in their wake. They did. KD won championships with Golden State. Mm-hmm. Kyrie won a championship with LeBron in Cleveland. James Harden has not. So talk to me about what James Harden opting out and becoming a free agency means for Philly.
Yes. James Harden has been accused of a lot of things, including being very selfish. Selfish how? Doesn't want to play defense. Doesn't give a ton of effort. Doesn't really care in the clutch. But I don't think we can really say that James Harden is selfish anymore. And you say, Jake, it's only one thing. It's the most important thing. It's money. He turned down $40-something million, okay, that he could have opted into to be able to become a free agent, to sign another contract that'll give the Sixers more money to go win a championship. He pulled a Tom Brady. That's what Tom Brady did. You know what? Take some of my money. Let's go get some dogs, and we'll go win the whole thing. Because I want rings. I want rings. When they bury me, I can't use my money, but I can put the ring on my finger. So when I look at James Harden, I don't think we can call James Harden selfish anymore because he's taking money out of his pocket to try and help the Sixers win a championship. The opposite of what Aaron Rodgers would do. So again, when I look at this argument we had when James Harden was at the Nets, who's really looking like the problem now? Doesn't seem like James Harden was the problem in Brooklyn. The two guys that were a problem are about to bolt out of Brooklyn, and they may do it together. not only are they doing that, James Harden's taking a pay cut to make the team better. So when I look at these things together, what I see is James Harden wasn't the problem. He knew those two were a problem. So what did he do? House is on fire. You get out, Cone. You get out and you run to the neighbor's house. Just so happened your neighbors were right down the street in good old Philadelphia.
Your brother's getting real antsy over there.
Please.
James Harden's been a problem his entire career. Every team he's been at, he's been a problem.
For Sixers?
Terrible work ethic.
For the Sixers?
Was a problem last year. Maxey didn't want to sit next to him on the bench because all the stuff he was talking wasn't playing defense. Terrible work ethic.
James Harden wasn't playing defense?
Terrible. James Harden? When has he ever played
better defense than he has?
I'm sorry, a little more effort of James Harden's defense. That comes to a lot. Terrible in the locker room, has left a carnage his entire career. One time he cuts a deal, not taking the money because he knows his career doesn't have that much longer. He's not playing at the same level that James Harden been playing offensively. He's slowly turned into a poor man's Chris Paul who doesn't have a championship, and he knows he's running out of time. He's always comes. He looks like he gains 15 pounds every offseason, doesn't play defense. Now he's not shooting when he's supposed to. He does this one thing, and we just erase everything in the past. And if you don't think James Harden is as toxic as KD or Kyrie Irving, you are living in a fantasy land, buddy.
Well,
Narnia, get in the wardrobe. I want to see it because it's hilarious.
Yeah, well, you better get out of Peter Rabbit's briar patch.
It's hilarious.
If you think that somebody getting older turns down money, that's not how it works, Gene.
He wants a championship.
The older you get, you try and get as much money as you can. Why do you think Sergio and Lee Westwood and all these guys
He wants a championship. He has to take the pay cut to win a championship because he's not as good as he used to be.
All right,
That's smart.
You can yell and scream and do all this other stuff.
Because it's
but
hilarious.
If you can't look and see that Kevin Durant and Kyrie were the problem, then I don't know what else to tell you.
James Harden's not a problem.
As much as Kevin Durant or Kyrie?
Yes! What? James Harden?
Kyrie's a problem. Kyrie has proven to be a problem.
So how is Kyrie a bigger problem than James Harden?
Okay, first of all, I wanted to say, can I come in and split the baby here? Because selfish is never the word that has come to mind with me with James Harden. I don't think James Harden has been a toxic guy that is selfish to me. What my main criticism was when I was aligning with you during the season against Jake was that he's not a winner. I don't think he's going to win anything significantly. This decision proves that at least he's on the right path to that. I mean, this is a selfless decision. I don't know if you want to label the guy selfish or selfless, but this is a selfless decision. And no longer can James Harden be the number one guy on an NBA team to win a championship. It's starting to look like maybe he can't even be the number two guy, but he could still be a very serviceable three. And with everything that Kyrie Irving has done in his career, running from Cleveland, running from Boston, now who knows what's going to happen now? I don't know how you defend this guy.
James Harden ran from the Thunder. He ran.
Whoa! He
ran from the Rockets. Like, what do you mean? How did Kyrie run? How did Kyrie run? So James didn't run?
They were both
James Harden's been in the strip club more times than the strippers.
Don't bring in ad hominem attacks.
What do you think? Is that not selfish?
James Harden was coming off the bench in Oklahoma City because they had Russell Westbrook and Kevin Durant. That's why he left the Thunder. Him leaving the Thunder that way and you trying to compare that to Kyrie leaving to the Celtics is so scary. We may have to put a straitjacket on you and send you to Shutter Island.
How is that
and I'm going to have to come up with some sort of scenario to try and help you figure out yourself again.
The fact that you don't think James Harden is toxic is laughable.
The fact that you don't think Kyrie Irving is
toxic. It goes back. I don't know why you had this thing for James Harden, like you picked him to ball out in the playoffs. I don't understand it. It's kind of weird. I don't really understand it, but James Harden is as toxic as, I would say maybe a little bit less than Kevin Durant, because Kevin Durant's a snake, but I will put him with Kyrie Irving. In every single way, James Harden is as toxic, probably in the locker room, on the court, in the strip club, at home, playing video games, as Kyrie Irving.
You're right. He's so toxic, he just took a pay cut to get better players.
Because he's never going to win a championship.
That's real toxic.
Little late,
That's
buddy.
real toxic. Kyrie.
And that value is just...
Yeah. Well, guess what? Kyrie and KD just left the whole organization.
Here you go.
There you go. There's one for you.
This love fest for Kyrie, who chokes more than somebody teaching.
Oh, well, at least he's won a championship. I don't love a guy who's never won anything.
Yeah, well, you can
Baker
scream.
Mayfield?
You can scream as loud as you want. Like, you
I don't love Baker, but Baker can start in the NFL right now. Baker can start in the NFL right now. Am I wrong?
No.
Okay, then.
You're not. And he's going to start for Cleveland. I'll go one better. He'll start for the Browns.
He's not going to play a snap for Cleveland.
They're going to make it up. You're going to increase his value and move next year, okay? There you go. Thank you. All right, look, what I was thinking is if you want, I know we're not going to break down the UFC 276 because we did that with Gina Carano and it's coming out Saturday and we have a teaser, but I thought I could at least list the lineup here, talk about some of the odds before we play Gina's clip.
Let's do
it.
Okay. Give the odds.
Israel Adesanya. Okay, versus Jared Cannonier. So Adesanya's at -390. Obviously, these lines are moving and they're going to continue to move before Saturday's fight. Cannonier's at +320. Should be a nice fight. Alexander Volkanovski fighting again. Remember the rugby player, rugby footage that we saw from New Zealand? He's going off at -180 versus Max Holloway at +155. That's the 145 featherweight title there. Sean Strickland -110 versus Alex Pereira. Also -110, a pick'em. That's the 185 middleweight. And Sean O'Malley -280 against Pedro Munoz +235 in the 135 bantamweight bout.
Look, it's going to be great. We're about to run this clip, but I can just hear Blaine propagandizing the chat right now.
Oh, you think he's up
the time?
Is there collusion?
These are the times
I just
where
put
Blaine,
I love lamp.
I don't know. I saw
For
James
loud
Harden.
noises.
Wait, James Harden is toxic. What is going on? Who put that?
I did.
Oh, okay.
Did I not put that?
Wow.
What do you want me to put? What do you want me to put? What do you want me to put, buddy? What do you want me to put?
Blaine's opinion.
Here, Jimbo Eagle, James Harden is a perfect example of toxic beta mentality.
Okay,
I
that's
know.
one guy. Anybody else?
Oh,
is
Tim Hunt
Jimbo
says, I
Eagle?
wish we had a cone cam to see David's face while Blaine and Jake argue. Daily Wire, please send that request to Justine.
It probably looks like replacement cone's face. But I do want to run this clip. We got Gina Carano coming on Saturday, and she has a little announcement that may be coming down the pipe. Let's play it.
Is there a fight that you're really excited to see this weekend?
Well, first of all, I'm always excited to see Israel fight.
Yeah.
There's just, you know how some people just are special? He's coming out of New Zealand. I find most people that come out of New Zealand are incredibly talented, but they're so interesting. Like, you just are addicted to watching them fight. He's special. So I'm always rooting for him. I don't know much about his opponent, so I couldn't say. He just really, Israel just steals the show every time. Yeah. So that's a great headliner.
No doubt.
Max Holloway is just, I mean, he's just kind of like, I guess he's just kind of like a serial killer. He's just frightening.
Well, look, it's great in that sport. You know?
Yeah, but you guys said this is their third time fighting, right?
So Volkanovski is 2-0, but I think, and so some people were surprised that there was a third bout, but a lot of people thought that Holloway won the second fight, so now we have a third fight. And I don't think there's much left for Volkanovski like in that division. So
yeah. Well, so I think it'll be interesting then. I mean, I'm going to be tuning in for that.
Yeah.
Sean Strickland, I think I don't know if this could be completely off, but I think one of the UFC fighters were like, you know, don't let me go to they're having me come to the press conference. They shouldn't have me be there. I don't want to get Gina Carano'd, which means fired. And I think it was Sean Strickland.
Really?
And so since he said that,
Look.
since he said that, I'm going to go for Alex.
There you go. There you go. All right, so we've got Gina coming on Saturday for the Saturday special. She is talking about whether or not she may fight Ronda Rousey on our show. And I think the answer is going to get a couple people fired up. So just remember, Saturday, before you watch the UFC, before you go out and cut the grass, before you start looking at that honey-do list, believe me, I'm starting to acquire them as well. You go to Crane & Company and you watch Gina Carano talk about fighting Ronda Rousey. It's going to be great.
what's he doing in the chat over there? Is he currying favor?
Look,
I'll read the chat. No, guys, here, I'll read the chat. I'll read it. Yeah.
Dude, the collusion in this is
I am
at an
saying thing.
all-time
It's
high.
funny that like I can't be right unless it's collusion, right? Unless it's collusion, I can't be right.
That's exactly
Tim
right.
Hutton says KD equals toxic.
Who does that sound like?
And Harden equals toxic. Two things can be true at the same time.
I say it all the time, but there are levels to toxicity.
Bubbly gut. Harden is like the 5-time divorcee who always blames the other person. Hashtag he's toxic. David Atkinson, Flaming Dragon just punted Baxter, a.k.a. Harden is toxic, off the bridge. Jay Hudson Reflections. I'm with Blaine. Harden is toxic for sure.
Well, again, you're like the mother of the
46
chat.
was a fix, says Harden is toxic, 100%.
You're like the mother of the chat. Like, they have to.
First of all, the father of the chat.
Or
And
you're
these
like the
people-
mother.
The
Your mother
chat has
knows.
mind of their own, and I trust the chat and their
Really?
judgment. So it's not me colluding with them. We just met on the
So
bridge
let me
and we
ask
shook hands because we both know we're right.
Who reads out the names of the stuff we talk about from the chat?
I do.
You do.
You do.
I
Mother
do.
Goose. You're the Mother Goose of the chat.
I'm Father Goose.
Your mommy.
Mother Goose.
I'm Father Goose.
Your mommy.
I'm Father Goose.
Speaking of mommy, baby Cone, dude, the kid is hotter than Gal Gadot in Victoria's Secret model show right now.
Yeah, it's tough to catch him.
I mean, you look and he's 25 and 19, and listen, guys.
Last day of the
we all
month.
know what this is.
Last day of the month.
It's the board.
It's all on the line.
Relegation. Dedication.
Ooh, the Godfather of the chat. I like that.
Abomination
I like that.
and retaliation. There we go. That was the last one. So I've got to go for gold here. Okay, I've done the math.
I think you should do this with a bat in your hands.
Yeah, actually, yeah, bat.
Grab one. Grab that Daily
bat
Wire
me,
bat.
Blazer. So we all know what has to happen, okay? I think everybody has a good idea what's going on. I'm down in the month, all right? Baby Cone. He's a really healthy baby boy, but he's also a healthy 25 and 19. I'm a 23 and 27. Remember, we add the units to the wins. So I'm down 1 unit. Baby Cone's up like 3.65. So I got to take a shot here, shot in the dark. So what did I do? I looked Darth Vader in the eyes, and I called him a coward. I must have said something else. Here's what I got today. Give me the Phillies. The first bet's a parlay. Give me the Phillies, -1.5, and for the final score to be an even number. Then, it's going off plus 280.
What's the even number? Or is
The
it
final
a
score of the
parlay?
game has to,
It's a parlay?
yeah, the first one's a parlay, so it's the Phillies -1.5 for the game, and for the final game score, so when you have the Braves and the Phillies together, it's an even number. That's what I got. Then that's plus 280. Then I got Jose Altuve, a home run plus 600, Blaine, on Barstool. I could not believe that. I hope he's healthy. So I'm going to take that. If I hit both of those, even with these bets right now, on Baby Cone,
Okay.
I win the month.
All right, let me go, David, real quick. So Baby Cone's 26 and 20.
Yes.
Okay.
That's right. I
26 and 20. David, you are 24 and 26, and Jake is 23 and 27. Baby Cone is
what?
You are 24 and 26.
Yep. You want more.
Okay. Baby Cone is up 3.6 units. And Jake, you are down 1.02 units.
Yes. So I need it to hit for
I'm
the
in this
galaxy, for
You
the
are,
realm.
well, you're
for the
5
Federation.
units down. So you need,
Yeah, David. I mean,
if
you're gonna have to steal the Declaration.
If you
of
jump 4
Independence.
units today, you're in you can, if they mess up, you can win it.
So here's what's going to happen, all right?
Okay, all
Here's
right,
what's
David.
going to happen. The Padres are going to be either up or tied after the first 5 because I have Padres first 5 plus a half at -145, okay?
right.
But then what's going to happen is Matt Olson for the Braves is going to catch one. Okay, he's going to catch one tonight. He's going to homer. That's going off at plus 230. Both of those are going to happen, and I'm going to win the month.
All right,
What happened, Blaine?
Blaine.
Okay, come on, Baby Cone.
Come
on.
Why are you pulling for Baby Cone?
Come on, Baby
What do you
Cone.
want? Which one do you want?
You already know. Oh yeah.
It's hard to kill something that's already dead inside. All right, this is what I'm taking. Seattle versus the A's, I believe. And then I'm taking a tie first inning. So it can be to 1-1. It can be 0-0. I'm taking a tie. All right, and then I'm taking Dodgers against Padres.
Yes.
Padres. And I'm taking a tie first inning. All
Tie
right?
first inning.
Tie first inning. That's what I'm doing. Why not? I'm not in the
Philly?
race. I'm not in the.
Why don't you go nerfy?
We got a nerfy, but
Why
that's
don't
a
you-
fitty.
Why don't you go big and go nerfy?
Why don't you get off my lawn?
Ooh.
It won't matter.
Wow.
It doesn't matter at this point. You know, after everything, I basically let a week and a half go, just risking, hitting America, hitting the gas pedal. I can get back to, 100 and 104.
This is a pure overall record play.
Yeah.
All right, Baby Cone, he's going Yankees, first 5, -0.5, plus 105. Then he's going to go Phillies money line, plus the under at 8.5 for plus 220. He felt dangerous. this
Yeah, a
morning.
little parlay
But
action.
you know what? You should be a little worried, Cone,
Yeah.
because Cranasium's coming. I'm coming like a train out of hell.
I believe you.
I know, and I believe you believe me. I'm going to read some booster bets because I wasn't able to get to him yesterday. Trevor Robinson, 3-0, Yanks money line. Private Chonkies, 4-0, Slovenia, -8.5. In what? Slovenia is in what? Soccer? Can't be soccer. It's -8.5. Slovenia in what? In like slapping.
Look that up.
I like
What's
slap
Slovenia doing?
Slovenia. Look what Slovenia is doing. Then Williams DG, he's 3-0. He wants the Braves plus 1.5. Tall Riot's 4-0. He wants the Cleveland baseball team. First 5 money line. Boring Florida Man's 3-0. He wants the Blue Jays minus 150. Tyson's right hooks trying to knock out Severino with over 6.5 Ks. Dink and Flick at 27. He's always on the board. Like, he always gets 3-0 for him. He's always there. He wants to ride with the Mariners money line. Barefoot Cowboy, because why the hell would I wear boots? Wants the Rays and Jays nerfy. Then Wildcat Cubs fans 1-0. He wants the Phils and Braves nerfy. And then Burn the Squirtle.
Burn the Squirtle.
His insolence is costing him. Is 0-6, but he wants Dennis Shapovalov to win minus 156.
Shapovalov. Hey,
Shapovalov.
maybe the nicest one-hand backhand I've ever seen, and I'm including Federer and Wawrinka. I'm including both of them. Maybe the best one-hand backhand I've ever seen.
Like that? Can you make that noise again?
Can you make the noise they actually make, though?
Yeah.
Huh?
Can you make the noise they actually make?
Yeah.
Nice. Well done. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on in Slovenia today.
No, you don't know what's going on in Slovenia?
I don't know. I thought cricket, maybe?
Well, hopefully Russia isn't doing anything.
Cricket?
Oh,
I don't
no.
know. I don't know. I really don't know.
Well, no, William CG, tell us. I believe it was Williams. No, it wasn't. It was
FIBA?
Private Chonky. Maybe. I don't know. We'll figure it out. I thought about taking a WNBA game, but the odds weren't high enough.
Take the under.
Take the under. I know.
Yeah,
Thank
take
you.
the under.
But, all right, chat, Blaine. We've got a couple minutes. Before this July 4th weekend, everybody turn
Jimbo
up.
Eagle says Harden doesn't deserve to have a beard. I put a poll out there.
All right.
Well, Paul,
I'm looking right at
over
you,
here.
dog.
I want you
I'm looking
over
right
here.
at you, Blaine.
I want you over here.
Okay.
All right, will KD end up at the Warriors? Yes or no?
No. And I say they said no at 58%.
More than that. No, 59.
Yes, 22%.
Oh, my gosh. It's a murder.
78.
78%. All right. David Atkins says, just bet on Slovenia in general. Doesn't
matter. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, they're on the come up, man.
Yeah, he just betting on Slovenia in general. You love to see it.
Let me see. Bubbly Gut says Harden's toxicity, a.k.a. his beard sucks. Look,
Why
I'll
is
give Harden
everybody
one thing. His
hate-
beard is nice.
Like,
Thank you.
the hate for James Harden compared to some of these other guys just blows my mind.
Yeah.
It's like the people who like Baker Mayfield.
Like, you're the only person who actually likes James Harden.
I'm not saying I like him. I'm saying this is an unselfish move because it is. If I gave you
It's
money,
basketball. Okay.
Oh, it's basketball.
It's basketball.
FIFA.
Slovenia and basketball.
Okay, Slovenia and basketball. They're playing.
The Monstars.
Who are they playing? Bishop
Give me
Sycamore or
Monstars.
somebody? Probably.
Can
Who
y'all
knows?
still believe that Bishop Sycamore got away with that?
They tricked ESPN.
They tricked ESPN and got slaughtered.
How lazy, though, do you have to be? You're at ESPN, which is owned by Disney, which has hundreds of billions of dollars, and you can't have somebody call to make sure Bishop Sycamore isn't just a bunch of Boy Scouts that are trying to pull the rug over your eyes? Like, somebody had to get fired over that. That's ultimate laziness to me.
I just heard that Slovenia is playing Croatia, okay, in basketball. But to your point, yeah, and I heard Bishop Sycamore is going to get away with it again this season coming up.
They're going to trick him again?
Bishop Sycamores.
Yeah.
Sycamores. Well, they
They're actually
suck
playing
more
the
than
Titans
any other
week
high school
one.
team I've ever seen in my life.
Actually playing the Titans week one.
Titans.
Sister Riggs wanted you to know that she is not pleased with all the hate from you today.
The
Chat hate from you today.
Well, look at what the chat's giving me back. Listen, I'm giving out what I'm getting. Okay.
Wow.
You guys want to side with Blaine on James Harden?
Wow,
That's
chat.
fine.
The truth comes out.
Look,
you
just
see it. The truth comes out.
Mr. Riggs, let me ask you this.
He's
Hold on,
against
Blaine.
y'all. He's
Now,
against y'all.
First
That's what
off,
he is.
we always talk. We're at the Daily Wire, right? Sister Riggs, you're Daily Wire member. We love dissent. We don't want to have an echo chamber because dissent moves the conversation forward. See, it's authoritarians like Blaine that wants everyone to think the same.
No, I don't.
That everybody should
No, I
just
don't.
agree with what everybody else says. The conversation never moves.
Jake-
see, because people
My
in
goodness,
power,
lies.
the
Listen to
first
these
time,
lies. Listen
Here
to
we
this.
go.
Look, Jordan Peterson. We don't need this.
You're gonna let me
He
finish.
wants you to agree
No.
with everything he says. And chat, you have a mind of your own. Every individual person there, you have a mind of your own to make your own decisions. And the decisions you come with are okay and are understood in this chat. You don't have to agree with Jake.
But if
you don't
they-
have to
if they
agree with me.
disagree with
you don't
him-
have to agree with David.
If
You can
they
disagree with
disagree,
all
aren't
of
they
it.
proving it right? Can you say if they disagree then?
This chat is
Blaine.
for everybody. You're
arguing
welcome
against
here,
itself.
and your opinions are welcome. Will we tell you if you're wrong?
Are we just all
Yes.
getting closer and closer?
As close
Blaine,
as you can get.
Blaine, if ever they disagree with him, his point
you're
is
proving
valid.
my point.
No, that's what. No, I'm saying you
you
want
said-
them all to agree with you.
And the word is
all the
understood,
time.
not
We're getting
understood.
all the time. very Soviet Union-ish of you.
You see the way Blaine walks back.
Clean yourself up.
Yes. Oh, no. All right, parting thoughts.
All
I
right,
have to say.
my parting
All right, what,
thought,
you got a parting thought? Go ahead.
I still can't get over last night, man.
How cool. At the Ryman?
Jordan, we're at the Ryman. Jordan Peterson joining the team. Already Ben Shapiro.
Yep.
Like 2 idols of mine. We're on the same platform.
It's absolutely
It's just,
wild,
it's unbelievable. What a night.
It was a great night. The Ryman was unbelievable production. Got a little shout out too from Jeremy Boring. Shout out Jeremy. Shout out Caleb.
We got to meet some Booster Club members.
Yes, those Booster Club members
cool.
at the Ryman. So
cool.
again, if you want to come and ever meet us, we do these shows at the backstage at the Ryman. They do them a lot. It's a great way to meet and greet. We were up in the lobby talking with a bunch of fans of the show and Booster Club members. It was absolutely fantastic. And guess what? Every opinion's welcome. Because I tell you this much. Sports should be for everybody, regardless of what you believe. Because it's a great unifier, and it will always be that. So, on that note, Lincoln Riley tried to duck the SEC and ran right into the Big Ten. Let's all laugh at Lincoln Riley as we go and end the show.
And tell them about, so obviously Gina Saturday.
Yep.
4th of July episode.
Yes. 4th of July, we're doing the most American sports moments ever. I'm not going to give it away. There's some really, really good ones. May get a little choked up. Blaine may be wrapped in a flag. It may be there may be hot dogs in here. It may be a whole situation.
I really appreciate Coach Vincent coming on the show.
Yeah, Coach Vincent, I'm telling you guys,
cool.
remember that name. Remember that name. And you talk about group of 5 teams that could win a group of 5 championship really quick, UAB and Coastal Carolina would be my top 2 picks.
When he was, I could still strap pads on and run through a wall for that guy. Man.
Yeah, he's a real one too. He's a real one. We appreciate you guys. Make sure you're subbed to everywhere. Make sure you like the show. Make sure you subscribe on TikTok, all that other stuff. We're going to continue to try and grow as fast as possible. And you smell that? It smells like football season.
Yes,
and like
sir.
Lincoln's Riley chances of living in the Pac-12 for the rest of his life, we're gone.